Good morning and welcome to this live Q&A with Eligo. Today we're gonna speak about meeting and voting with a video conference tool. This is something that really interesting in this space where everyone basically already now uses video conferencing tools. But let me start with a really brief presentation of Eligo. Eligo is an all-in-one online platform for all private and public organizations designed to support them in streamline and digitize all elections and decision-making processes. We have been in this space, we have been working in this space since 2005, and more than 20 million people already voted with Eligo. So we have quite a good knowledge in this space. But this is let me give you a couple of information. This is an interactive session covering meeting and voting with video conferencing tools, and I'm here to answer your questions. So please feel free. I already see a couple of questions there, but really there are no stupid questions. Please really feel free to ask so many things, and help me to explain better this space that could be quite tricky sometimes. So let's start. I already see. Let's start with the first question. Actually, I think the first two questions are quite similar. So I'll read them and then I'll see if we can answer them together. So almost all of my assemblies are performed through Microsoft Teams. How does Eligo integrate with platforms like Zoom or Microsoft Teams? And the other one is, can participants vote directly within the video conferencing tool, or do they need to switch? Okay, really interesting, both of them. Yeah, I think they are quite related. So let me answer them together. So yeah, we have e-app voting for WebEx and Teams. And these allow participants to vote during the meeting within Microsoft Teams, for example, or Cisco WebEx. That means that people just access Teams, for example, and instead of the chat or in the full screen as well, if they want to, they see Eligo and they vote in Eligo within the video conference. This is the one way of doing things. The other way of doing things is that you see you access Eligo and then you have Zoom or Vimeo or other streaming systems within Eligo. So basically, you have the two ways of doing things, and the decision always is based on how complex and how strict are your requirements on the voting process. So if you have really strict requirements, so let's say it's more important, let's say, to give attention to the voting process, to the decision-making process in terms of quorum, in terms of characteristics of the voting, so types of proxies, weighted vote, different type of vote for each item to be voted. So a kind of voting that it's quite complex, so you really need to pay attention, give importance to that. Then you normally we recommend to go to the video conference that is embedded within Eligo. If it's something that is quite straightforward, you can have proxy as well, you can have weighted vote, but you don't have really complex rules on the voting calculations or on the quorum calculations, then we normally see it is more simple to use Eligo as an app within Microsoft Teams. And obviously, I had another element that I don't know if someone will ask about that, but it's normally questions that obviously we in Eligo itself we don't really have limitations on the number of people that votes. The limitations in that case are of the video conference system. So you cannot do a normal video conference when with 2,000 people, for example, without thinking about IT support, with a proper license, without all the things that you need to think about in terms of the video conference system. So um, as regards the amount of people that are participating, Eligo itself doesn't really have limitations, but you have to pay attention always on the license that you have for a video conference. Okay, let's hopefully will be I was clear, but feel free again to write if anything was not clear. And let me read the following question. How you ensure the confidentiality of votes cast during a video conference? So obviously, the voting in Eligo within a video conference system is exactly the same system. So the integrity, the confidentiality, the privacy characteristics are the same of Eligo. So you basically split the information. The platform actually basically split the information between the voter and the item voted when you actually confirm your vote, and from that moment on, we don't have this information anymore. So these two information are obviously cryptographed, and they follow two different paths for security purposes, but they are not in any case in any way re re how do you say re reaggregated anymore. So even us, even system administrator cannot have this information together anymore. This is really important. Let me see. I think there are no, the question was quick today. No, I've seen that someone is writing. Let's see the question. Meanwhile, I wanted to add just this trend of voting within the video conference tool. It's really something that is happening quite rapidly because we're seeing that there is a shift uh, through the to decision-making processes. So people are taking decision within the video conference tool, not just electing people. They are taking decision for their organizations. This is something that can be really made in a simple way with platform like Eligo. Oh, yeah, that's the question. Are there any limitations on the number of participants? Okay, or through the video conference integration? Yeah, as I told, there are no limitations from a LIGO side, but we are always speaking about something that integrates two different systems, one video conference system and one voting system. So voting system doesn't really have any limitation. We have already done voting process with more than 1 million people. But on the other side, video conference system, they do have limitations. So always pay attention to the license that you have, or ask us. We obviously offer these package of services, so you can refer to us for a full service for the video conference and for the voting as well. Can I activate Eligo directly from WebEx? Yeah, you can go to WebEx Marketplace or Teams Marketplace and you can activate Eligo. Also, there is a free trial, and so please feel free to test it. You will have it for free for 7 days, and we will be really happy in supporting you in that as well. Let's see. I see someone is writing. Sometimes these meaning and voting within the video conference appears it's easier to do compared to how it is to explain it. It's really easy for a user, for an end user, but to explain that could be quite tricky. Let's see what happens if there are technical issues during the meeting. Well, interesting. If, for example, I'm voting and I lose connection, my computer shuts down. How do I know whether I voted or not? Okay, so this is really important. Thank you for your question. So you can always get re-access to the platform again. And if you have voted, the plat will show you that you have voted. Otherwise, you can vote. So it actually depends on when the problem happens. So if it happened after the information of your voting preference was sent, then the platform already have this information. Otherwise, you always, if it's not there, you can vote again. So until the procedure is really finished. So no problem. You can always check that if you have any problems, exactly as you do when you have problems with your video conference. Don't have the line, you have to connect again. And the same is in Eligo within the video conference. Any other questions? Let's see. These free trials are really useful because you can try with 10 people, and then you try exactly how it is. The activation from a back office, from an administrator side, it's not super extra easy, I warn you. Not for us, but because you will really need to stay to respect WebEx and Microsoft policies. But still, we're speaking about a simple process, but for the end user, it's really simple, and it's beautiful as well as the process, so makes things really easier. I think there are no other questions. So thank you again for your time. As usual, please always feel free to write us an email, drop an email, or participate to the next session to make for us to make possible to answer your questions. Thank you.